Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Ford Bronco Sport, which is the smaller one in the Big Bend trim level. It is a four-wheel drive vehicle. It also has a few extra packages, which I'll show the window sticker at the end of the video, so you can see what they cost, see what they include, and compare them possibly to other trims. This vehicle sitting on 225/65 Continental tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels with a matte black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Desert Sand, and it has that kind of safari look, I suppose. And this one has the decals on the hood, looking pretty cool. It has the Bronco, kind of hard to see the whole thing because it's just like a silhouette. It has these lines here. So everything in the front, there's no like completely gloss black here. It's just like a semi-gloss, or more like a semi-gloss, I guess, or a satin black right in here. And then the flat black is here at the bottom. So it's slightly different. And then the Bronco's blacked out. The radar adaptive cruise control sensor is here. It does have active grille shutters. Now the headlights are a projector LED with a little halo as well. LED turn signals, and we'll go over those in the night video showing how well the headlights work. And the projector fog lights are down here. Looking at the profile, you can see it's very boxy and made to look like a Bronco. You know, it has that kind of classic look, I guess. And the front end, when you're driving, you know, you can definitely tell that front end is it's almost like a truck front end, where it's a little bit of reduction in visibility close to the vehicle. Now it has the matte black handles, upper portion of the side mirrors, and then you have that cladding here on the wheel wells and on the base of the doors as well. And the doors actually go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, and I'll explain why they do that in a second. But interestingly, we start to see some gloss black. So we have the gloss black pillar right here, and then the whole roof is gloss black. You can see that, except for the roof rails. So that's looking pretty cool. Then we have more of that little design similar to the decals we saw on the hood. This is what the key looks like, and it's a pretty standardized Ford key. Has Bronco on the other side. But you know, it's kind of more simplistic. It just has the lock and unlock, but it is a full proximity system key. It's kind of bulky, a little bit heavy, but basically it's the type where it has the sensor here to lock it, and to unlock it, you put your hand behind the handle. So a sensor here and here, physical key location here on the driver's side only. And like I mentioned, the doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, completely covering up that threshold. And so the idea here is to keep this area relatively clean compared to, you know, if it wasn't covered up. So that way your clothes don't get dirty. And it's the same thing in the back door here. It's completely covered up this whole threshold area with the doors. The inside of the passenger door here, this is like a vinyl type kind of soft touch surface here and here. The rest of the door is a hard touch. It's designed to be very easy to clean, durable, that kind of thing. It's very rugged looking. It's not, you know, luxurious. This is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket, but it is smooth plastic, so if whatever you put in there is going to slide around. And it does have the pockets there at the bottom, bottle holders, that kind of stuff. Now this kind of goes in a little ways, so that way you can put in a little umbrella or whatever, potentially. Okay, so the threshold area has a nice big rubber seal right here, and it has the Bronco seal plate, just kind of low-key, I guess. The seats are manually adjusted, and it's a combination of this microfiber type cloth and a simulated leather surface right here. And they're pretty comfortable. It has a little Bronco kind of pressed into the back of the seat, looking pretty cool. The seats, when I first got in them, they're a little bit stiff here on the front, and there's kind of limited on how you can adjust them, but I got used to it within a short time. It has this little net pocket right here, so you can put some stuff, papers, anything right there. And then the floor, I don't know what the deal is with this floor mat. There we go. This is just in sideways. So yeah, that fits a lot better. But yeah, you can see it has pretty good amount of legroom, and the seat is actually quite a ways off the floor, so it kind of feels like a chair when you're sitting in it. And you have the hard touch surfaces here, non-locking glove compartment. Has a soft landing, smooth. It's kind of like a deep in there. Pretty good as far as size and everything. Non-reflective, kind of rubbery soft dash, kind of like a vinyl material, sort of like on the door. It's interesting we have like a beige or a tan headliner. It's interesting, I don't know if it's just an illusion, but it seems like these doors kind of, or the front doors kind of lean this way a little bit when you open them up. The opening is nice here in the front. You see this back door though, the swing of the door is a little bit limiting. It could swing out just a tad bit more, I think, but that's the way it is because we already have a limited space right in here. So the opening is less, especially down in here. So having that door swing not very wide, it kind of cramps you up getting in and out a little bit. So here's the inside of the back door. We have the hard touch surfaces instead of the rubbery soft. We do have a rubber or soft surface here, kind of like a vinyl material. That's enclosed, and then you have the pocket there at the bottom. A little bit of a limiting factor right here. So the swing of the door would help on that. So the back seat is basically a bench seat. It has an armrest with cup holders there. Yeah, you can get in, slide around. It's not much bolstering or anything like that. It does have the Molle webbing here on the back of the seats with a map pocket here. It also has on these seats, it has these little pockets here on the side of the seat. Put your cell phone or whatever, it's on both of them. That's pretty cool. Then you have some, has USB-C, USB-A there, climate control vents. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, here at the top it has a combination of mast and shark fin antenna and that little gloss black roof. And then the third brake light is here at the top of the glass, right here at the very top, right above it actually in the roof line. The glass actually moves up. So right down here there's a button where it says glass, the other side says door. So let's go ahead and press the glass button and we can lift this up. And so that way we can access stuff from here. You know, just kind of quick access things. And there's like a little Bronco silhouette here. It's kind of neat. You can see that. Privacy glass. Can't really see it much on the outside, but from the inside looking out, you can see it pretty good. Then you have the Bronco Sport name. Backup camera is in pretty decent position. It's in the center, which is great, but it's a little bit low. I think it could be integrated a little bit higher. But as it is, it's pretty decent. The tail lights are a combination of LED and standard bulbs, and once again we'll examine those in the night video as well. So down here are reflectors, they're not lights, and then it has a class 2 hitch down here. Parking sensors back here, unlike the front, has a pretty substantial plastic bumper back here as well. So let's go ahead and open this up, press that button, and then it's just manually lifted up here. The underside of the liftgate, there are these little directional lights, and we'll see how they work in the night video, because I can't really tell what's going on here right now. But here on the right side is a 12-volt power supply, and these little bag holders, which actually have little hooks on them, so it you can hook it on there, and even off-roading or something, it's not going to become unhooked because as this little spring-loaded guy right here goes in. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, and that way it's a secure connection. Then there's a single light here on the right side. Woof, not looking good as far as the visibility back here at nighttime and the usability, but we'll see what it looks like at night in the night video. So there's tie downs here, one on each corner basically. Here's how you turn on these lights. So you can press that button, and then you can see the light right here is illuminated. And you know, since it's daylight, we can't really tell how well they work, but that's how you turn them on. But yeah, there's more bag holders here on this side, little storage space here on the sides, here and here. It has the mat, which you can lift up, and under that is like a kind of rubbery surface here, which is nice so things don't slide around on you. And this is of course rubbery. And then this lifts up, and then you'll find a full-size spare tire. With some foam little storage cubbies around it so you can put some stuff. So yeah, full-size spare tire. It has a steel wheel. So yeah, that's especially if you're going to go off-road, you definitely need that. Now this floor can drop down lower only if you don't have the spare tire. So if you have like the one with a tire inflator kit or something like that, you can make this load floor go a little bit lower than what it is now. But with that big spare tire, it's not going to move. It basically has to stay like that. So yeah, this has a pretty substantial cargo area back here, and it has a completely flat floor. And of course you can fold the seats down. It's a 60-40 split. In this case, it has the rubber mats on the back of the seats as well. And so you can add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. So it's a pretty good amount of space back here, pretty impressive. The fuel door is here on the driver's side. And it has a capless design, so don't have to worry about that. It has a seal right here, and then it has the, basically, you know, you can just use regular gas on this vehicle. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat, and you notice this one snaps in place, keeping it in place for you, and also shows you the orientation, I guess. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and a footrest. Nice big footrest, and I like the way the floor mat covers up the footrest. Some vehicles have this like a rubber mat, but then it leaves a hole right there, right where you put your foot, and then all kinds of stuff gets underneath it. So in this case, it'll, you know, basically hold mud and you know, slush or anything, any liquids that happen to get in here, and that way it's easier to clean. Kind of holds it up, so with all that side lips and everything. Okay, so let's look under the hood. 2 pulls, 1, 2. And since we pulled it twice, all we have to do is lift the hood. There's no safety catch now. I guess the safety catch is the second pull. Now it does require a prop. It's not very heavy hood actually, but it does require a prop to hold it up. There's the prop there, and you swing it up and put it right where that arrow's pointing. So you can see there's no insulation under the hood. There is a seal across the front though, and a seal across the back here on the bottom part where it connects the suspension towers connected properly, and pretty solid vehicle, I guess. So the orientation of the engine is a front-wheel drive orientation. Even though it is a four-wheel drive vehicle, you can see the orientation is this way. And so there's the front of the engine, back of the engine, and transmission is down there. There's the battery, it's fairly easy to get to. But the engine turned off because if it sits here idling for a little while, it'll just turn off automatically. Now this is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And it is a four-wheel drive vehicle, and it has the drive modes. I'll show you that when we get on the inside. The GOAT modes, go over any terrain. It's pretty interesting, but it's supposed to be fairly decent off-road. Even though this is kind of like it's not like the full-size Bronco is the real off-road vehicle. This one's kind of like a substitute, I guess. You know, for some light off-roading, you can definitely do that. So let's go ahead and restart it. Restart the vehicle by pressing that button with my foot on the brake, keys inside. It has this little animation thing going on, kind of neat, there on the center screen. It does have the blind spot detection system and the little indicators here on the side mirror. It lights up when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So basically the driver's door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have the door lock controls there, power windows here. Now it's one touch down, but you have to hold it to go up. So you just pull up on it. It doesn't want to go up unless you hold it. So that's the way the windows are. Now the back windows, see how far they go down. Right there, not all the way. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side, adjust that little pad there. The driver's seat is powered, unlike the passenger seat. You can go up, down, forward to back, tilt to back, and a two-way lumbar adjustment there. The driver's seat is powered, unlike the passenger seat. And so you can go forward and back, tilt, go up and down, tilt the back, and then a two-way lumbar adjustment there. So yeah, the seats are fairly comfortable. It took me just a few minutes to get used to them and got them, you know, in position and everything, and then they were fine. To the left of the steering column, there's some buttons and switches here. So there is to release the trunk. It doesn't have a power liftgate, but you can release it there. This is the headlight switch, so you have the off, parking, automatic, and headlights there. Fog lights are controlled here, and then the dimmer switch for the interior cages are here. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall. I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And I would say that I need to pull it up slightly, but if you're over 6 feet tall, then you want to go ahead and take it for a test drive and, you you know, maybe 6'1", 6'2", you'd probably be fine, but any more than that, you want to really make sure you can fit in this vehicle. Definitely under the hatch. So if you're more than 6 feet tall and you're walking underneath that liftgate, then, you know, definitely have to duck your head, basically. So as far as tall people, you want to get around the vehicle and use it and make sure that it's right for you. It's not like it's really small, but, you know, there's some issues as far as the height in the back, and potentially I could see where, you know, if you're over 6'2" on this vehicle, then it might be a little bit of issue as far as legroom. So it has a wrap steering wheel, and it feels like a vinyl wrap, and has stitching there on the inside. It looks pretty good. It's got some gloss black metallic accent there. Nice Bronco horse. The cruise controls here on the left side, it's pretty interesting because you can set it up in the system to where it's just regular cruise control, or adaptive cruise control, or intelligent cruise control. So basically, intelligent cruise control is that it'll be adaptive and everything, but it'll change when it sees the speed limit change. It'll go ahead and automatically change the speed limit for you in the system. Like the cruise control will set at the different speed, and you can set a tolerance up to, you know, 10 miles an hour over the speed limit if you'd like to do that. But yeah, you can turn it on, set either up or down, resume, cancel, lane keep assist system, which seems to work fairly well. And then the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you is here. Now that's the upper portion. The lower portion right here is the volume for the radio, mute the radio, and then you can change through the tracks, and then you have the voice recognition. Now they use the same buttons to change through the tracks as a answer the phone calls and hang up with phone calls. So, you know, I guess to have less buttons. So these buttons right here, the menu, OK, up and down, and back button, correspond with this screen up here. We'll get to that in a second. The front and rear wiper is right here. And then the turn signal is here, but it also has the lane keeping assist system. You can quickly turn on or off on the end of the stock there. Okay, so here is the gauge cluster, and it has physical gauges here on the outside. So there's the RPMs, the tachometer. Here on the right side is the speedometer. You do have a digital speedometer in the middle. Fuel gauge, engine coolant temperature, and then it shows a little arrow showing you which side the fuel door is on. It's pretty cool. And then the outside temperatures here, odometer. So let's use these buttons here. This is the menu, this is the back button, and then you have OK and up and down. So I'm just gonna hit the menu button because, let's hit that. So you can see it has digital speedometer, fuel economy, and comm screen. So right now we have the digital speedometer. We can choose fuel economy there in the center, or we can just have basically nothing like that. But I prefer a digital speedometer. Now, if you just go up and down without hitting that menu button, we can make see different things here. Compass, what the radio's doing, what the phone's doing, information about the vehicle if there is any, and then this is basically your different trip, which has a timer, fuel economy, and stuff like that, range, that kind of thing. And so this one right here is your My View, which is the one we set up. And then of course this is your lane keep assist system, driver assist systems basically. So yeah, it's not like super advanced system in here, but it does give you the ability to change your view slightly there in the center, little tiny screen. But it's pretty much a traditional gauge cluster, I guess. All right, so we saw the start button there. Now this screen is, you can see that it has a touch screen, but that also has some buttons here at the bottom so you can help get to certain places. It has a physical volume knob, tune through the stations, you can change through tracks and stuff, play and pause. You also have a button to turn the screen off. The first press will show a clock and date, which is really handy. Sometimes you need to focus on that, especially on a busy schedule. But if you press it again, then it turns the screen completely off if it's distracting you or whatever. Press it again to pull it back up. All right, so right now we're in the navigation, the sync system. And you can see it has this little home button, and it has these tiles here at the bottom. Let's go to the home button, and it gives us to like a split screen basically, where it has the map, and then whatever your radio's doing, whatever your phone's doing basically. You can go to specifically audio, and go to the different sources here, AM, FM, satellite radio, and Bluetooth audio. And you can see, pull up your phone, and you get different information here, your recent calls, phone book, that kind of stuff. And there's the navigation. We can do searches. We can have save places, that kind of stuff. You go into apps, and it just has Travel Link, which actually Travel Link's pretty good. And you can also find more mobile apps as well through the Sync app. Now, Travel Link, let's hit that. Go to fuel prices, because this is something I really like this feature. So there we go. So it shows us the nearest. We're sorting it by distance right now, so we can show the nearest one, how far it is away, how long it is away, as far as how long it takes to drive, and the price of the gas there. But we can change that to price. If we want to get really cheap, we can drive 13 miles and get slightly cheaper gas. We can also go, by alphabetical order if there's a particular brand that we're looking for. But yeah, especially if you're traveling and you don't know where you're at and you don't know the area, just to find a gas station. Let's say you like Exxon, or you like Marathon better, or Sunoco, or Shell. Maybe there's a reason why you need to go there, and you can find the nearest one. So this is really cool. So that's just one of the many features that Travel Link has. And there's your settings right here. So you have vehicle settings, driver assistance settings, general settings. A little bit confusing sometimes when you have different things like that, because you would think the driver assistance settings would be under vehicle, but it's not, as separate. And I like the way it has digital clock there at the very top center. But yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown of that screen. There's the physical buttons, which we saw, and then there's a little storage cubby right in here. It is kind of like slick, but it has these texture, but it's not rubberized. So, you could put stuff in there, it could slide around. Climate control is right here. So there's fan speed, temperature, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters. Now it does have heated seats. It's a 3-stage heated seat for the driver and passenger. Right in here is a wireless cell phone charger. It's kind of angled a little bit, but it is, it's a little bit rubbery, and it also has little places to secure the phone in place. And then there's the USB-A, USB-C, 12-volt power supply, and a little storage space there as well. There's some cup holders, different size cups. And I like shifters that don't stick up sometimes, depending on the design of the vehicle. So this dial works fine. So go to reverse. Two things will happen. The parking sensors will activate, and then the rear view camera will pop up. You can see a little representation there of the sensors there in the back. But yeah, it has active guidelines, a center line, all that stuff. And you can see the bumper all the way to the sky. And it's a little bit of a wide view, but it doesn't really show you like some other brands where it actually shows you left and right when you're backing out. So you kind of have to, really, there's some blind spots here. It's not super wide view. It'd be nice if it has a super wide view. It just has this zoom in view, but that's as far out as it goes. So the ones that have the super wide view, so you can see more to the left and right, I think is a little bit better. So hopefully they'll include that in future models. So there's neutral, drive, then you have a low range here. You press that button in the middle. Electronic parking brake, just lift it up. It engages the rear wheels to engage it. Now it just shows you here on the screen that it's on. There's no light or anything, there's no status light. So you press and hold the brake and then push down on it to release it. This is the brake hold feature, which does have a status light, good. But that basically just holds the vehicle, just keeps the vehicle from rolling and creeping forward when you come to a complete stop. It holds the brake for you, and then you hit the accelerator to resume driving, like if you're at an extended stop sign or stop light or whatever. Alright, so there's the GOAT mode. So go over any terrain is what it stands for, and basically drive modes. So you have normal, eco, sport, slippery, and sand. So it basically just tells the vehicle what kind of conditions you are in, and it adjusts things appropriately, okay, I guess you could say. So this is fairly soft, kind of bottoms out a little bit after just a little bit, but it's fairly soft, not big enough to share with your passenger, but it's nice. And I still like that pocket there for your cell phone or something. It goes in right about to right there, so it's pretty perfect really for most anything, like a cell phone or whatever. Okay, so this lifts up and it's kind of spring loaded, so it doesn't slap back down on you. and it has a USB-A, USB-C port in here, and it's basically hard plastic and then a felt liner. Got my business cards in here. Actually, kind of need to have them in there so you can see the bottom because it's kind of looking like an abyss. But yeah, it's a just a normal storage compartment. Now it does have, since it has this connectivity here, it does have little places for wires to go in and out of this compartment there and there. When you close the lid, the wires don't get pinched or anything. The rearview mirror has a manual day and night mode, so manually, old school. So you got these tap lights here, here and here for direct reading lights. Turn on all the interior lights with that button. Turn them all off, or have them in the center position if you want them to turn on with the door. And this opens up and you have a place to put your sunglasses, and it's felt line. It's fairly soft felt lining as well. So the visor is a vinyl material. It's the same color as the headliner, which is a cloth, but it's a vinyl material, which is easier to clean, easier to maintain. Has a little clip right here. Lights with mirror. Kind of soft lights, that's good. And it does slide out, and there's your HomeLink garage door opener controls too. Looking at the visibility here on the back, you can see there's quite a bit of a pillar right there, and then there's another pillar there on the back, but it does that little window which is covered up basically by the headrest. So it's a little bit of a visibility over your shoulder type thing. And so that's another reason why I wish that backup camera was a little bit wider. It does have the rear cross traffic alert, and it has parking sensors, but still, I think it would help out a little bit better. You know, the technology helps out, but being able to just look over your shoulder and look, and without this obstruction would be a little bit better, a little bit safer, I think. Now you can fold those seats down if you need to. If you don't have anybody in the back seats, you can fold them down so you can look out that little window a little bit better. The headrest will be out of the way, but still, you know, it's a little bit of an issue. Like any vehicle, you have to get accustomed to it, and you know, I think it really wouldn't be much of a problem, but it has to be pointed out.